How could you not be romantic about baseball? Baseball is sitting down with your family after a long day, watching a game and remembering that the American dream exists. It's remembering that if you work hard, don't give in, and believe in something, that you really can do anything. For me, baseball is the Oakland Coliseum. It's Bart at 10 p.m. It's $2 Wednesday games and $1 hot dogs. That's what I grew up on. And to me, baseball is about the common person, the beaten and the defeated. It's about the underdog. And few stories recall that of a baseball underdog as well as Bennett Miller's 2011 film, Moneyball. Based on the book of the same name by Michael Lewis, the story recalls Oakland Athletics general manager Billy Beane and his quest to dismantle the baseball establishment from the inside and redefine the idea of what a winning team looks like. Using sabermetrics, which is an empirical analysis of baseball statistics that measures in-game activity in a very unconventional way, himself and his assistant Peter Brand lead their baseball team to what was, at the time, the longest American League winning streak ever. While great by itself, I think Moneyball finds its strength, draw, and emotional pull from its stunning original soundtrack by Mychael Danna. The 2002 Oakland Athletics had absolutely no business accomplishing what they did. That season, they went 103-59. They won more games than any other team that year, besides the New York Yankees, with whom they tied. They won as many games as the richest team in baseball, despite being the 28th richest team in baseball. What the A's did shouldn't be possible. And if there's anything that Mychael Danna's soundtrack represents, it's that very sense of hope. These songs exemplify the element of adventure that's present whenever someone decides to ask why not instead of why. Each of these pieces represents a separate part of Billy's quest to change baseball, and in a more general sense, each of them sonify what it's like to change the world, to keep pushing and to chase your dreams. The album opens with One Out Away. In the film, it's the backdrop to the A's 2001 season ending, where they lose in the American League Championship Series to the New York Yankees. It sets the tone for the very motivation felt throughout the rest of the film. It's the fuel to the fire, the why. Every dreamer possesses one. On a conceptual level, Danna evokes the emotion of failure here, and how every great story begins with failure. One must lose 1,000,000 times before they win. And One Out Away exemplifies this. Track number 8, Time-Tested Intangibles, depicts a traveler whose voyage is offset by his detractors. It's the soundscape of a hero trying to find his way, despite being beaten down time and time again. No matter what they try, it just won't work. Here, Danna depicts hard work, dreams, and the snowball effect that every great person must endure on their path to greatness. This low atmosphere is doubled down upon on track number 9, Is Losing Fun. where a dark and dreary aesthetic exemplifies the dark places in which loss can bring a person to. The album doesn't see any victories yet, but track number 11, It's a Process, begins the climb. This is the point in the soundtrack that I fell in love with. The moment in the hero's journey where we begin to see that there really is something to be said about hard work. That there really is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's the feeling of when the lines between hard work and success finally begin to blur. More than anything, it's a turning point. The climb continues until we reach the peak in track number 13, The Streak. Streak is an anthem for someone's dream coming true, and more or less a sequel to The Process. All these atmospheric cuts depict a musical story in which we see our hero accomplish the impossible. Despite what comes after this, by track 13 of the album, the A's have already won. However, I would say that the only two tracks off the album that are not composed by Danna himself probably remain the most impactful. The Mighty Rio Grande by San Marcos post-rock band This Will Destroy You acts as Moneyball's theme song. The Mighty Rio Grande is about dreams in a general sense, just like the theme of the movie. It's about finding yourself dehydrated in the midst of a dreary and decrepit desert, yet finding the courage to get up, the courage to change the game. So much of the emotion from Moneyball's soundtrack comes from this very track. I think the most impactful piece of music in this film isn't background music though. It's the beautiful ballad, The Show, sung by Billy Bean's daughter Casey. As our hero drives away from his beloved Coliseum, he pops the disc that his daughter recorded for him into his stereo system of his truck.
Just a little bit caught in the middle. Life is amazing.
In that moment, we're struck with this beautiful musical statement, just as much as Billy Bean is himself. Billy can't let go. He can't enjoy the show. He turns around and heads back to the ballpark. Billy Bean isn't content. He's still looking for a championship, and he won't stop until he gets one. I think what I love about these tracks so much is that they could be the soundtrack to anyone's life. These songs have nothing to do with baseball. They bring about a message much deeper than the game that we all love. They connect with anyone who's ever felt at odds with the system, down and out, or like they have something to prove. These pieces are anthems of the defeated. There isn't a track with this soundtrack that isn't filled with adventure, hope, and emotion. There's something special about the kind of feelings that this score evokes, and to me it provides a feeling of hope. The 2020 Oakland A's defined everything we know about baseball, and in some ways, it can still stand tall as a testament for anyone's dreams. At the beginning of the video, I quoted Billy Beane by saying, "How could we not be romantic about baseball?" But if this original soundtrack proves anything, it's that we can't not be romantic about music.
You're such a loser, Dad. You're such a loser, Dad. Just enjoy the show. You're such a loser, Dad. You're such a loser, Dad. You're such a loser, Dad. Just enjoy the show.